Hello, good afternoon. My name is Richard Monteroso. We're going to be talking about today managing business cash flow. My name is Richard Monteroso. I've been with US Bank for the past 8 years. I am a small business specialist. I help out clients anywhere that they are in life, whether they are just starting their business, they had a couple years with their business, or they've been in well established and ready for their next steps, maybe retiring, whatever that phase may be. I'll be able to take care of them. I am in Arizona. I am mostly on the west side, meaning that I am usually in the Goodyear, Buckeye area, also Phoenix area, Avondale area. I am statewide. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. That's my direct line. So I'll be able to take care of you with any questions that you may have. And I'll be able to take care of you. Let's go over the agenda for today. We're going to be talking about tracking your money, cash flow projection statements, and cash flow scenarios. So we'll give you some live examples with clients. I appreciate you all for joining today as we discuss some of our common considerations for managing your cash flow. All right, and today what we'll be talking about as well is financial management tools that can keep us organized, and they are a critical component to managing a small business. First, we're going to be talking about starting out by listening to some of the beneficial statement management and at a high level overview of financial statements. Bookkeeping basics. As a business owner moves through the business process, there are a couple ways to make your business more efficient and profitable. Perfect. Generating financial statements as a tool will help you to see the opportunities as well as the gaps you have in making your business profitable. Remember to track all your finances going through and throughout your business routinely. It is good to seek out aid of software professional bookkeepers, CPAs. A lot of people use QuickBooks. There's different tools that you're able to use so you can be more organized in your different way. Every person does things differently. Just make sure whatever is going to be the easiest or more convenient for you. Everyone is different. So if something works out for someone, doesn't mean that it'll work out for you as well. You can do different things. I have a lot of clients that do it themselves and other clients that hire somebody else to do the work for them to just keep everything on track. Here are some key tracking tasks that all businesses need to continually administrate. Again, if you use QuickBooks, you're able to link it with a US bank account and through online banking. Balance sheet. Let's look at a balance sheet. It yields information regarding a company's assets, liabilities, and shareholders' equity. It reports assets at original costs and not appreciated costs as well. Takes into consideration all of the items that can be attributed to its purchase, including the purchase price and such factors as commissions, transportations, appraisals. A cash flow projection provides insights into how your company operates and uncovers any cash flow gaps for the near future. Here are some of the primary purposes for this tool. Review cash moving in and out of a business. A cash flow statement displays how much money you have each month to cover expenses, like, for example, payroll, buying more inventory. It is tied to the operating cycle of the business. Businesses need to be aware of their cash flow and manage not only how much goes into and out of the business, but the timing of the money movement to ensure there is enough cash on hand to pay for any expenses. Keeping track of your expenses is very important That's why a lot of people that are successful use this tool. Liquidity is important. It refers how much money is available to pay for expenses such as payroll, rent, utilities, and inventory costs. Next, what we'll do is we're going to be looking at a cash flow projection. The first set of rows titled Cash Sources of Cash document all sources of incoming cash. The second section, Operating Uses of Cash, contains all of those expenditures associated with day to day buying and selling processes that you're going to be able to see on the profit and loss statement. Lastly, the third section, it talks about non operating uses of cash. It includes equipment purchases, loan payments, inventory, taxes, how much you pay yourself as an owner. Perfect. Cash flow projections. We explored a high level overview of a business financial statement. In this section, we will take a deeper dive into the role of cash flow projections and how to better track your money. There are four ways to manage cash flow, and this is to ensure that the money coming into the business during a given period is enough to pay for the expenses when they are due. The first one is know when you will break even, put cash flow management before profits, scheduling your payments, keep up on cash coming in. The first way is known when you will break even in businesses. Break even is the point at which revenue and total costs are equal, meaning the business is making neither a profit nor a loss. Each business will have a different break even number, depending on your business model and how much startup money it took to initiate the business. And this is why it's important to set a realistic goal for when you want to break even. This will vary by initial investment as well as your speed at which you sell your goods or services. Focus your efforts on setting a benchmark for projecting cash flow. Talk to experienced business owners in your area industry ahead of time to know how much revenue and costs to expect. A lot of things, especially now these days, what I recommend doing is looking at YouTube videos. You can actually go on LinkedIn if you haven't done so already. I would encourage you. This is very important, and you're able to connect with owners that are already doing this. For example, if you want to start a construction company, right? What I would advise you to do is look at YouTube videos, how they started. If there's a specific construction that you want to go into, like foundation, grading, anything, it could be asphalt. What I recommend you to do is get on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is almost identical to Facebook, but just in a more professional way. And you're able to connect with owner CEOs of construction companies that are well established, and you can pick out their brain. Maybe invite them to lunch, coffee. A lot of business owners, they have one thing in common, and one thing in common is that they're risk takers. What I recommend to you to do is put yourself out there, risk it. What's the worst that they can say? No, I'm not going to be available to have lunch this day. Maybe they're not going to be able to go with you to have coffee, but that's okay. You want to set up a date, and you want to set a day so you can follow up with them and learn about their business and how they became successful. That's what I would recommend for you for to do, and you'll be way ahead of other people as well. Learn from somebody else's mistake. Here's a quick tip: look for others to help you keep on track with your goals. US Bank, we also help you to keep you on track as well. If someone comes up to me and shares with me their goal, we'll come up with an idea or a vision how to make that a success, making your dreams a reality. Put cash flow management before profits. When you book revenue, analyze the cost of producing the product. This helps you see the margin you are making on each product. Knowing the margin will tell you how many products you will need to sell to have profit for time period. For example, if you have a client, oh, let's say for example, like you sell sneakers, right? You flip sneakers, your sneakerhead. If you buy some shoes, you got to understand when you're going to buy them and how you're going to sell them. When is the best time to sell them so you can have a profit margin to potentially get the next sneakers for free? And how are you going to double that and continue to grow that as well? Consider that it may take several months to receive payment from your client. Depending on your industry, you may get paid immediately or over time. Sometimes you're not able to sell that sneaker immediately. So, what are you going to do in the meantime? That's what you have to pay attention to. I have a lot of customers that are construction, that are in transportation, that are doctors. They don't get paid immediately. If you're a doctor, you're not going to get paid fast. They have to collect that money from insurance companies. That takes 30 days. It might even take 60 days until you get paid. So, what are you going to do in the meantime? No matter the size of the expense track, it will help you to ensure that you are all aware of inflows and outflows of the business. Make sure that you know where all the money went at the end of the day. Schedule your payments. Our third step in our tip is to schedule your payments. This will help you understand when payments are due to ensure you have the cash to make those payments. Not all payments are created equal. You must pay your payroll. People are always going to want to get paid. Taxes and rent, those are on a fixed date. You're going to want to know when you have to pay those. Other important bills to pay are utility bills, insurance payments, flexible payment. Many vendors and suppliers are happy to work out a flexible payment plan with you. So make sure to have good communication with them and be open and pay them at a timely manner that you agreed. Keep up on cash coming. The fourth tip is to keep your cash coming. It is important as business owners to actively manage the money coming in into the business. When referring to this, cash or card payments you receive as each one is liquid in your account for quick use. Establish clear terms with the payment ahead of time. Most new businesses are required by their vendor to pay cash. After you develop a reputation for paying on time, ask vendors to invoice you instead of paying with cash. This allows you to have more time in repayment. For example, I have clients that are restaurant owners, and a lot of people have to pay their vendors in cash. For example, if it's delivery of their sodas, their their food, they have different scenarios in which when people come, vendors come, they have to pay them cash. And you need to have that money in hand or need to give them a check that same day when they deliver the goods. I have others that are just able to send a check out, whatever's convenient at their own time, because they already have that established with the vendor. Make payments before you need them. For example, if you want to make a payment in 1 month, this for example, if make your terms 14 days, this gives you a buffer for late payments. So for example, like if you have a payment due on the 10th, if you're able to pay it off on the 1st or a little bit earlier, I encourage you to do that. So you could know, hey, you know what? Pay all your bills first. You don't have to worry about the rest. And then that way, for the rest of the month, you don't have to worry about anything. Analyze your costs and offer a payment in advance. This will reduce how much you get paid, but can accelerate the money coming in. Follow up on open invoices. Stay on top of invoices you send out and make sure to follow up to ensure that they are paid on time. Your financial institution may have an easy way to help you request payment and manage invoices. Look for faster inflows, same day merchant processing, or remote deposit capture. You're able to potentially make a deposit through your phone so you don't have to go into the bank. How are ways that you're going to be able to go and make your day a little bit easier, because there's going to be so much tasks that you need to do as a business owner. You're going to have to find out ways to make it easy as well. And you want to avoid unnecessary trips to the bank if you can do that. Think about it. So, um, factors to consider when working with cash flow projections: break even, costs and expenses, schedule payments, get paid. Perfect. Cash flow scenarios. Now that we have explored common ways to manage cash flow, we will take a deeper dive into the use of cash flow projections to understand their applications and potential uses through a few scenarios. Identifying cash flow challenges. This will help you determine the challenges and the cause of your challenges. Look for ways to overcome the gap. So this is the first example that we have. Ellen and her husband own a part and repair shop for specialized digital office equipment. Ellen was looking through her cash flow projections and noticed that they were not receiving payments from some of their smaller accounts as fast as they need to buy parts moving forward. There are a few ways to tackle the problem or bridge the gap until your customer payments are received. You can give out customer payment discounts. If your clients have a 60-day payment window, offer a small discount if they pay within 30 days. Different payment options. Consider different payment options like accepting credit cards or electronic transfers. This will decrease the wait time if your customers are mailing checks or paying you in cash that you might have to take to the bank. Credit cards. In addition to building your business credit score and often offering rewards, business credit cards can help you in a pinch. For example, let's say that you have, like this customer, they have a auto shop and they need to buy equipment. But for this customer, you're able to use a credit card. And what does that mean? That you have 30 days to actually pay your credit card back without having to pay any interest on it. So a lot of my clients, what they do is use a credit card so they could save that time frame that they don't have to pay any interest, and at the same time they earn cash back because they're using money for that as well. They're getting cash back on what they used. And also you're able to do a line of credit. So taking a line of credit is perfect because it gives you a bridge between your inflows and outflows of your business. Example 2. Jane owns a small boutique gift shop. A portion of her customers place their orders online as she receives deep discounts when she buys in bulk. After reviewing her cash flow projections, she realized some of her invoices are piling up. If you're having difficulties making payments to your vendors due to lack of cash on hand, consider some alternatives to help you meet your obligations. Some possible strategies include vendor financing. So you can ask the vendor for cash price. This may give you an opportunity for a discount for paying early or provide options to pay over the extended time. Assessing a line of credit. Having a line of credit on hand can be useful, especially if you need to pay your vendors before your receivables come in. Financial institutions can often provide a better rate for financing than the vendor. You can reuse the line whenever this is needed. So, as many times as you like, if you have a line of credit, you're able to go use this, pay it off, use it, and pay it off. So, it will make your life a lot easier because you won't have to worry about anything. You'll just have to pay it back within a certain amount of time frame, and then you're able to operate your business on a day-to-day basis. Manage cash flow challenges. Sam and his daughter run a coffee shop. So, with this coffee shop in specific, they get quite a few tourists over the winter. They get a lot of snowbirds. After reviewing their cash flow projections for the summer, they realized that they needed an alternative solution. If your business is seasonal, you have to understand that and be proactive, where your income significantly outspaces your expenses, but other times the expenses outpace the income. You will need to manage the money in the high income months to be able to pay the expenses in the low income months. Some possible strategies include talking to your banker, because when you talk to a banker, someone that you trust, you'll have that communication, meaning you bring up that bump in your life, right? Everyone's going to have bumps, so you're going to want to talk to that person. For example, if you come up to me and say, "Hey, Richard, you know what? I'm noticing that during the winter, I'm very, very busy because I have people out of town coming in, and but in the summer, it's very slow. What would you recommend?" And at that point, we could come up with financial tools, come up with a game plan so we can assist you, so we can cover that bump while you have that in the summer, and we can always look at the best scenario for you, and we can always jump ideas to see what's the most beneficial for you. Talk to your vendors. Have a conversation with your vendors. Maybe they're able to set up flexible payment options, and you might be able to negotiate, like, for example, your lease payments. Leverage a line of credit and pay it off whenever you're busy, and whenever you're slow, you're able to use it and pay it off, use it and pay it off. Manage cash flow challenges. Perfect. So then here, Eric has a custom cabinet making businesses, and his high-end clients often require specialty woodworking materials because of recent changes in the supply and change of industry. Eric found that he had to keep a larger inventory on hand of this costly materials. After reviewing his cash flow projections, he discovered that he had accumulated quite a bit of debt. If you're having difficulties with some of a large amount of debt in your business, consider some alternatives to help you meet your obligations. Pay down the debt. A strategy for tackling debt likely depends on how long you'll need to pay off the balance. If it's less than a year, you're able to use a credit card with 0% interest, and this will help you with paying down and having you're able to pay everything off within a certain amount of time with no interest, which is fantastic. If it's going to take you more than a year, you might want to get a loan, because this will allow you to have smaller payments within a time frame. And then loans that are secured by assets could be for equipment, real estate, and then also you could do unsecured loans as well. Avoid overextending the business. You want to make sure that your future cash flows will be able to cover your expenses, including any new debt. Always make sure to pay your debts in a timely manner. Ignoring the debts or avoiding payments or calls from creditors is not a solution. And always check for other credit options. There are loans available for working capital or cash infusion loans. They're extended to help the company overcome a rocky patch or accelerated growth. Here are some of the things to consider when checking your cash flow projections. lagging payments, vendor payments piling up, seasonal crunches, reducing debt. Here's a summary of what we went over today: tracking your money, cash flow projection statements, and cash flow scenarios. Here are some resources that you can always look at for free. You can work with the SBA, SCORE, America's Small Business Development Center Network, Women's Business Center, and your local U.S. banker, goals coach, or business access advisor. Thank you again for your time. My name is Richard Monteroso, and I look forward to connecting with you all.